In today's video, we're going to be talking about Narja and how she single-handedly destroyed the Church of Orlea. If you enjoy the CZN content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll go ahead and get started with the video. So, when it comes to her cards, I would get rid of her attack card because I want to make her as a support character. I enjoy support characters. I love the heals. I love the shields. So anytime I can have that, I will. However, if you want to make her into a crazy damage dealer, you most definitely can. However, I will be going over just the support builds, the support epiphanies that I would choose. And then if you want the damage, I'm sure there are plenty of other videos that you can check out by a bunch of great creators. So with her cards and with her epiphanies, we do want to understand what veracity is. This says, when hitting with an attack card, 40% fixed heal. If health is 50% or higher, plus 30% damage amount dealt by the attack cards. So what we need to do is stack veracity as quickly as possible. When it comes to her epiphanies, we've got this one right here that just on draw. On draw, we get 6 veracity. We don't want to use the card because then 4 veracity goes away on this one attack, and I would much rather give my buffs to somebody else. If I need a quick heal, then I could grab it off of this. However, I want my damage at the same time. Another option you can take is this epiphany where you decrease your veracity by a maximum of 3. If you do that, for every veracity that you decrease, you will get shield instead. So you could get up to 216% shield off of this one card, assuming you have 3 veracity. My big thing with that though is while it is 0 cost, I would rather spend my veracity somewhere else, and you take away my ability to gain veracity with this epiphany. I'm not really too keen on this one. Then we have this one here where it is a retain, and my first thought is always going to be Orlea when I see the word retain. But remember, she is the Church of Orlea Destroyer. So this card is pretty interesting. It says decrease veracity by maximum of 5. We get plus 40% damage amount to the next used attack card for each amount decreased. If 5 is decreased, we get 3 predation. Predation is juicy. If in a veracity state, we get plus 80% damage amount dealt by attack cards when the effect is activated, decrease by 1. So one thing I like about this card is even though we lose our ability to gain veracity, we get some juice from this. So if you have big hitters, someone like the Chizuru, someone like a Haru, and you can get you a lot of AP going, then you can turn around and say, oh, by the way, I'm fine giving up 5 veracity. Assuming you have a lot of other gain veracity epiphanies, I'm fine to get rid of that because I'm about to blow your socks off with my next attack, and this is retained, so I can hold and wait until I have that perfect hand. So this one to me is not that bad either. When we go to our next card, Bottomless Hunger, this one has a couple different options, but I like 2 of them in particular. The first one is going to be this one over here. So I do like this epiphany for Bottomless Hunger. Whenever we just straight up use it, we get 3 veracity, and then the next 2 times that veracity is used, so we just use some attack cards, then we can decrease the cost of 1 random card in hand by 1 for 1 turn. So that helps us cut down on our cost of the other cards in our hand just from this one skill alone. The other beautiful thing about this is that because we're getting veracity, we can use it immediately. If we dupe or copy this card a couple different times, this just feels like your hand is free. And I really do like this card a lot. The other one that I do like is going to be this one, and this is a lead. The reason why? 7 veracity. Anywhere I can give veracity, I'm hungry for it. Give it to me. You know what I'm saying? So then it says, for 1 turn each time veracity is activated, plus 40% damage amount to the next meal time, which is going to be just a bigger AoE hit. That's totally fine. But the 7 veracity is what I'm looking at. The next one is going to be voluntary control. Now, we do have 2 different cards or different epiphanies that I really do like. If you can get lucky in an unlucky way, copy this card before it gets epiphanied. I'd love to take 2 different cards. The first one being this one. It is unique, but we do get 10 veracity. This part right here where you could select a card, and every time you get that card moved to your hand, you get 1 predation. that's fine. That's my secondary effect. And if you have a way to select and really draw that same attack over and over and over, that's cool. But for me, I just want the 10. All right, and then we're chilling. If I get, if I can't have that one, I will gladly take this one right here, and I would dupe this because this is so juicy. If veracity is fewer than 6, you gain 9 stacks. But if you have 6 or more, you get 3 predation, and predation is that extra 80% damage attack for your attack card. So this is so juicy. Then for the next card, we're going to be looking at Domain of Veracity. Now, you could say this one is not a terrible one. Each time mealtime is used, heal 200%. That's fine and dandy, and it is unique, so you can copy other cards if you're trying to go into that more support route. However, it's just kind of hard because now I gotta fetch this card to get a bigger heal, and then I gotta fetch it again, and I gotta draw through my deck. And for someone like me who doesn't have the best decks available for a lot of my characters, some of my decks are a bit more bloated, or I don't have that draw engine, it does make it a little harder. So what I like is this one right here, an AoE debuff, if you will, to all the enemies. Anytime I hit those enemies, I'm stacking heals off of them 5 times, okay? So if I got 5 people in the fight, I throw out this AoE debuff onto all of them. I got 5 on you, 5 on you, on you, on you, and on you. One AoE hit, let's say from a Yuki, turns around and gives me 1 stack off of each of them. Guess what? Bang! Big heal off of that. So juicy. I really do like this card so much. Or you could also turn around, if you have a multi-hitter, you can say, let me take the 5 from you, I'm gonna save you for later. Let me take the 5 from you, I'm gonna save you for later. Let me take the 5 from you. All right, my turn is done. Hey, you just hit me pretty hard. I got y'all 2 over here who I'm ready to heal off of. So this card feels very good when you're looking to get that big heal or reserve your heals on certain enemies. This feels so good. Then the last card is going to be Mealtime, which if we use Veracity, the cost goes down. Then when we use said Veracity, we can stack plus 30% heals up to a max of 10 times until the card is used. So we're already healing for 120. We can stack 30 on top of that over and over and over. This does give us an AoE damage, and we get 4 predation after the fact. This, pretty solid heal. Not gonna lie, pretty solid heal. Now, the big thing, a little combo, if you will, is that whenever you use Mealtime, it will be in your graveyard. Ideally, you use her ego skill immediately because it gives us 10 veracity, and because the Mealtime is in our graveyard, we can get 5 predation right then and there, and that just feels so good to be able to stack not only the veracity but also the predation, so we're hitting really hard really quickly. Now, when it comes to her partners, I do like to use Nyx because of Nyx's ability, where whenever you discard X amount of cards up to 3, you get X plus 1 on the draw. So you discard 3, you draw 4. I do like that one a lot. However, if I wasn't using her, I would probably look to use Yvonne because I do get the 16% defense, and defense increases her heals and her shields. Then we look at her potential. This node over here, of course, going to be the most important one. It does say plus 10% damage amount of veracity if Narja's defense is greater than 300, plus 20% amount to predation. So we definitely want to get that 300 at minimum as quickly as possible. When we look at her memory fragments, now y'all don't laugh at mine are pretty jank. But when it comes to this, there are a couple that I want to look at. Of course, we're going to be taking the 12% defense. If you're running an all instinct team, you could take this, have 20% more damage if you got 4 more cards in your hand. However, if you're not running an all instinct team, I do think the defense here is fine. I do think this is okay for another 2-piece set, the Seth Scara, because we will have 2 of those heals in our hand, or at least in our deck. And then for a little bit more survivability, we can take the Healer's Journey. This set right here, the only reason why I would say that is just because with the new game modes that will be coming out here in the future, I do think we will want to lean into survivability just a little bit more. But remember, the easiest way to stay alive is to make sure I kill them first. But what happens when I keep my HP into the next stage? So I do think that something like this could have some interesting potential when it comes to making sure we have a good support. And then last but not least, if you are going to go for crazy dupes of Narja, it is kind of hard for me to say to stop anywhere between 1, 2, and 3. However, if they did make this not a percent chance or just made it a 50% chance, I do think that would feel a little bit better. Otherwise, you're basically telling me I have a 75% chance to fail. That does suck. But if you are going to stop somewhere that's not E6, I would highly recommend you go to E4 because this gives you 30% damage amount on your predation. And that's just that extra juicy damage on top of the veracity. Now, the reason why I say that she is the Church of Orlea killer is simply because all I got to do is play 1 or 2 cards, get some veracity, get some predation, boom. Some of those cards to give me veracity, it's just on draw. Some of those cards are 0 cost. It's so easy to heal with her from her veracity stacks, from that one card that you just put 5 debuffs on everybody everywhere, and every time I attack them, I heal off of them. What does Orlea have to do? Oh, I have to make creations. I got to get them to a 3-star, and then I can either give you a really good buff for just 1 turn, or if I'm gonna use my Tuffy, then I have to decide, do I want to retain it and heal, or do I want to use it and shield? But then it's only that 1-time use. So while the creations are so super cute, her whole kit takes so much longer to ramp up just to turn around and be kind of mediocre now that they released Narja. And like, it pains me because, dude, I love Orlea so much, but like, I know this has been here since I've been making videos on Orlea. And it's like, we have so many text bugs that just haven't gotten fixed. And it's like, bro, just tell me you don't like Orlea without telling me you don't like Orlea. And then on top of that, you know, literally same colors, so we're both instinct and we're both controller. It sucks. Like, I get it. I get it. You know, I ain't hating on Narja, but man, I just wish that Orlea was given some more love. The biggest thing that I can only hope for is that once we get these changes or buffs or whatever you want to call them to, I think they said Orlea, Cassius, Naya, and they maybe had 1 or 2 more characters, maybe then Orlea can kind of shine at least next to Narja. I don't need you to overshine or outshine them, just, you know, side by side. One thing that I would have loved to have seen though is if they made Narja like a green or a blue or a purple. Red would be kind of difficult because then that's just instant draw engine for Maylin, and now like Maylin Veronica plus whoever that is going to go absolutely crazy. But like literally any other color that wasn't instinct, that wasn't yellow, would have been amazing to me, because at least we remembered that Orlea exists. But as a fellow who enjoys Orlea, I can only hope for the best in the future. Narja, at least for right now, makes things so much easier. So if you were looking for a support character or someone who could do a crap ton of damage as well, Narja is a pretty good character. I do not believe she is on the Sereniel level of must pull, but if you're looking for a support character that can kind of do a little bit of different things depending on what you need her to do, she can definitely fit some of those roles. But like I said, I do not believe she is super must pull OP levels like Sereniel. So let me know down in the comment sections below, will you be pulling for Narja? How will you be building her? Do you agree with me that I do think that she killed Orlea? Let me know down in the comment sections below. I would greatly appreciate it, and I would love to read your thoughts on Narja. If you enjoy the CZN, Uma Musume, or any other games or topics that I may be enjoying in the future, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Here is a massive shout out to my current channel members. Thank you so much for the continued support. It means the world to me. And if you'd like to become a member, you can do so by clicking the join button down below, where you'll also see my Discord server in the description box, where I do have member channels and exclusives and all that good stuff there also. If you have the Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, please be sure to drop that off at my channel at twitch.tv/Tuglow. And last but not least, please be sure to share this video with your friends, with your family, and with your friends' family, so that way we can be safe and be secured, and just let people know that the Church of Orlea, while it is being destroyed by Narja single-handedly, there are still some believers out there, and it'll be all right. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.